Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the His and Her Rewatch podcast, where we watch movies that he likes
and watch movies that she likes.
I'm the His, Caleb, and with me, as always, my hardworking wife, the Her, Megan. Megan, welcome back.
Thanks. I almost missed my cue.
Yeah, you did. You look distracted.
I was a little distracted. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Now, this is our 11th episode.
Yeah.
So we made it past the milestone number 10.
Yeah, a big milestone, I feel like. Not all podcasts make it past the 10th episode.
Yeah, I think that was an important one for us to get past.
Yeah, so now we can just stop. Just kidding.
We'll try to keep it going. You still enjoying it?
Yeah, I am. I think this one was hard because we did watch this movie 3 days ago?
3 or 4 days ago it was. Yeah, we had a lot going on. We tried to squeeze it in on one evening on the weekend, and it's been hard to find a time to record, and it's been a couple of days, but that's okay.
Yeah, I just hope I remember everything that I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I watch the movies. I go and watch the movies and just watching them and just enjoy them. And I feel like at the beginning, maybe I did a little bit of trying to take mental notes. I may have been just the first movie, but then I kind of just watch it and then create my thoughts later after I watch the whole thing,
Yeah. I think like you were talking about, we kind of let it simmer for at least a day and study. And then we look over the notes and we look back at other facts about it. And I know with me, it's like seeing different screenshots of movies and things that just remind me of a lot of the good parts of the movie that I want to talk about. And so it kind of helps me remember and stuff. But I don't know how with your process. I think it's funny how we're having kind of different processes as we watch these movies. And
you think it's funny, or you think it's obvious?
Well, yeah. I mean,
we're very different people, and not only are we a man and a woman, but we also are very different personalities and the way we, absorb things and take things.
That's
in.
Not the funny part. The funny part was how it's kind of evolved a little bit. How I've kind of
over the podcast.
Yeah, how we kind of, how you said, how we do in our first couple episodes and how we're doing it now.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was just me, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
No, I do like to absorb it and think about it and look over things again after the fact, after we watch it. So now we are 11 episodes in. This is our 11th episode. Have you noticed anything that surprises you about the way we do things, the way I do it? The way, like we were talking about how we study or get prepared for the episodes, but just doing the whole podcast thing, is there anything that's kind of surprised you, or good or bad, or me or you personally, or anything?
Not really. I mean, no. I mean, nothing's really surprised me. I'm actually surprised at how. I mean, I know you don't see it that way, but I'm surprised at how many people actually really like the show. And maybe just our family and friends and people we know, but I don't know. I feel like we have pretty good listeners, and everybody I tell about our podcast, they always think it's such a great idea. Whether they listen or not, I don't know, but I just think that it was such a unique idea, and that podcasts are slow burns. It's not like social media where you can go viral. I mean, I guess you can, maybe, I don't know, maybe if you had a cool guest on or something, maybe that'll be our next I
don't know how you do guests thing. Maybe if people like actors or somebody
someone who's an expert in something that we do.
Exactly.
I don't
know how we would do, because that was one thing they said to build an audience is to get guests. I'm like, we don't really, that's kind of not our platform, is not guest related. We can start
at the lower levels.
Well, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying because it's his and her, so it's a back and forth between me and you mostly. But I do like talking about the movies, like if one of our parents or a friend or a relative or somebody that listens to the podcast has something to say about an episode, I think it's fun to talk about it and their perspective on that movie or that subject, especially if it's relatable.
Well, maybe we can do maybe we can record clips or something of something like that. I don't know.
Throw something in there.
One thing that you had mentioned that that I actually did start implementing is that you said to listen to our podcast on 1.25 speed, and it is perfect. And you are correct.
I know. I do listen to mine at 1 1.25 speed. I know my sister listens to it 1.5 speed.
Oh my Lord, that's so
really
fast.
hard to listen to it.
I'll have
She listens
to
to all
talk
her podcasts.
really slow for her because I know I already do talk really fast.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, she listens to all her, not just ours, but all her podcasts at 1.5 speeds. I do all of mine at 1.25, and I get through. I
I just can't do that. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
And I'm surprised I'm that way. I am not.
I am too.
I am not that kind of. I don't know. This is not my personality to speed stuff up like that.
I can't.
I just want to listen to it in real time and to get the whole effect of the talking. But at the same time, it works. I don't know it does work for us because we're kind of a little slower talkers.
We?
Well, I mean me. And the transitions sometimes get a little.
Yes, the transitions sometimes, yes. But no, I know I am not, like, I am that type person too where I actually GPS everything, even if I've been there a million times, because I want to get there the fastest way possible in the least amount of time. And I value my time, but I can't do that. I can't do it with podcasts. I can't do it with YouTube videos. I can't do it with, I used to listen to audiobooks. I couldn't do it with that. I don't know why. I guess, I don't know. I feel like it takes away the feeling of it,
Yeah.
But I could for ours.
Yeah.
But that's because I already knew what it was about,
Right.
But no, it is. I do think 1 point. I think 1.25 is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1.5. That's a little fast. I don't know how you.
I had a buddy of ours.
I just giggle the whole time because they sound like chipmunks.
Yeah, right. That's pretty bad. I remember a buddy of ours years ago. A couple of years ago, he said we hadn't seen him in a while, and he comes and says hey to us, and we were laughing, and then he says, "Yeah, Megan's the reason that I'm able to listen to podcasts at 1.5 speeds."
Oh,
because he's so used to you talking fast.
Oh, nice.
So it was.
Well,
so it was like that's how we got used to it. I thought. It was funny.
That's true. I don't talk that fast as much anymore, but.
But anyway, I was.
You're not disagreeing. Okay, I see how it is.
I tried to move the conversation along.
Okay.
No, I did. I think that what things have surprised me about, pleasantly surprised us. No, it's fine. Is how great you are at doing this with me and how much you've enjoyed it, and you're really good at it. I think listening to the podcast back, you are much better at it than I am.
Oh no,
you sound a lot better.
That's not true.
I think
not at 1.25.
I sound normal at 1.25.
Well, I was telling you that. So I had a friend of mine, and she was telling me that she hadn't listened to all of our episodes, but she really wanted to. But she was listening to one of them, and she really loves that our chemistry. Which I was like, well, hopefully we have good chemistry.
Yeah.
We've been together a long time. But she was saying how she just thought it was so funny because, like, you have the Southern, very slow drawl, and I'm just like, so
you bring a different energy.
We complement each other fairly well, so that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, you bring a different energy, but I think my voice, I slur a lot. I think
so do I.
My stuff runs together, and you can't understand me sometimes, and I try to do better. I can't even get better as
now
I'm trying
you're thinking about it too hard.
I know. Trying to enunciate or something. I don't know. So yeah, I guess we're all our own worst critics, I guess, right?
That's true. Very true.
So, but anyways, I just want to ask, I know we're 10 episodes in the past. We've done 10 episodes.
Well, I'll one up you.
Oh.
Is there anything you would like to change for the next 10 episodes?
Ooh.
Or improve on?
To improve on, I think, like I said, me talking the way I talk.
You need to take some therapy classes.
I need some speech therapy.
I don't hear it. I don't know.
It just, sometimes I'm hard on myself, I'm sure. But, I think the way we have it structured, there's not a lot to do different. And maybe some other things on the, that's not the recording portion of it, maybe streamline some things, or maybe better editing, or better, quicker studies of, but I think that'll just come over time. Yeah. And I have my websites that I like to go to, certain ones that help me out, and maybe I don't know, maybe my movie picks. I don't know. I would like
improve your movie picks?
Not improve, maybe just make them pick more popular ones that people. I don't know if I'm picking good ones or
No,
not.
I
don't
think
know
you're
if I'm doing good.
Well, I mean, and in all fairness, a lot of the movies that you love, I've seen. So, or we love together.
And
I like the popular ones.
And I haven't gotten into those movies yet.
Right.
The ones that you've seen before. We're trying. The early movies, we've been really hitting on movies that neither one of us have seen before, but that's going to run out eventually. And
Right.
we'll do ones that maybe that you've only seen once but still love and want to see again, or vice versa. Or,
Right.
And I don't know. We've done a lot of ones that are kind of early 90s and late 80s. And so maybe we'll get into 2000s, some more modern movies, and we'll see.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to, everybody.
Yeah, well, I think I would like to incorporate, we already talked about like some sort of guests. I don't know how that will be, whether it will be the whole episode or just like a portion of the episode. I don't really know. Maybe we can do some like quotes. Also would love some sponsors. So
Sponsors, okay.
If anyone, maybe not for the next 10 episode, but maybe for next year.
Well, building
but, hey,
the audience is the biggest thing. Figuring out a way to build the audience.
Yeah, having some kind of sponsors, whether it's sponsors or just like affiliate codes. I think that's one of the first ways to start is having affiliate codes. And those are fairly easy to get. And then work your way into sponsors and doing commercials and stuff and in the middle of your podcast, where people can just fast forward 30 seconds.
Right.
Like we all do.
Right. Our sponsors won't want us to know that.
They know.
No, I think at that point, if we ever like monetize our podcast, I feel like we've actually made it.
Oh yeah.
That.
I mean, that's true though.
But I
it's
think
really
there's like a base number I think that people like look at, and I don't know what that involves at that point, but. So we're ad free at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I think like you said, just growing our audience more and figuring out what and if there is an algorithm for podcasts. I'm not really sure. I don't know enough about it. Like I wouldn't say I'm an expert with Instagram, but I'm pretty good with it. I'm familiar with it. I've done a lot of research. I feel like podcasts and TikTok are kind of I don't know, like the wild, wild west. I don't have a clue. So I'm sure there is a formula and there's ways to do that. And just kind of ask around, do our research, watch some YouTube videos, figure that kind of thing out. But
I know that people subscribing and 5-star ratings on their platforms and leaving reviews help out a lot, and that brings your podcast up to when people are just searching for random stuff, it'll show up and that'll put more eyeballs on it, at least to see. But
so speaking of, if you enjoy our podcast,
right, if you enjoy our podcast,
give it a rating and a review. That would help out the algorithm so other people can hear our podcast and love it as much as y'all do. Yeah,
hopefully y'all are still enjoying it, and I know we have some loyal listeners and people that catch up a couple episodes and here and there. So we hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're here. I know you're probably here to hear Megan talk.
Caleb.
Let's be honest. Everybody likes the co-host more than the host.
That's not true.
No. All right, I'll stop. But all right, so we'll go ahead and get in. We're already been talking for a few minutes, more than I thought, and getting into the movie.
I know you always ask. You're like, so what are we going to intro with? I was like, I don't know, let's wing it, and we always do great. So it's cool.
I did have to cut one thing one time because we just come up with something. We talked about it. We did this little game.
I know. Y'all never will hear it. It was great. It was my idea and never will hear it.
No, you did a great job. I
caught you off guard.
I was low energy.
No, I caught you way off guard.
I didn't sound great. You sounded great. But we ended up talking about other subjects that related to the movie that I didn't think about that we were actually going to get into. So
yeah, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again. Yeah.
We'll do something else.
So look forward to that.
Something different. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get into our movie. This was my pick. This is, like I said, episode 11. This is his pick, and this is the 1993 movie Rudy.
I need your help.
Why should I help?
I just want to be a part of this university.
You're nuts.
A lot of people have been telling me that lately.
Sometimes a winner is a dreamer who just won't quit.
Hey, you guys! My son's going to Notre Dame!
I'm here to play football for the Irish.
I wish God would put your heart in some of my players' bodies.
You're 5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing, and you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
A true story from the creators of Hoosiers.
You ready, champ? I've been ready for this my whole life.
Rudy is actually, I think it's our first biographical movie and sports movie.
Semi. Dirty Dancing, we found out, was
Yeah, that was just
loosely
based on some
off of
characters.
it.
This is a biopic for sure. This is based on a true story. And his what was his full name? Daniel Rudy Ruettiger. His nickname is Rudy. But we watched this on Hulu. So if you want to watch that on Hulu, if you have the subscriptions, it's out there available. I feel like there's something else we need to keep just going into it. So we're just getting into the
director.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. I feel like I'm missing something. This is I did want to say this is our first sports movie. This is a football movie. I did want to pick it because it was football season. That's the one reason I picked. Rudy is the first.
Well, we've seen most of the baseball ones because we're a big baseball family, and our kids love baseball, and I love baseball. I'm not much of a football fan, but I'll sit and watch it and eat some wings with you.
Yeah, you definitely
eat some snacks.
You never grew up watching football, did you?
I mean, my dad did.
Yeah.
He's a diehard Alabama fan, but I just never got into football.
You never got into football.
I mean, I didn't play football. I played baseball or softball, so it's a little different.
Right.
But
I remember we were married probably at the time, and you knew I liked football, and you let me watch. You watch it with me sometimes, or zone out, do your own thing. We watch it together in quotes, but you.
That's what all the married people would say. Well, we were married. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So but it's funny because you would learn the team names and everything, and so I would.
Oh God, I know where this is going.
So
this just sums up our whole life.
We have an inside joke. This is all stemmed from, but there were we would go through the NFL team names, and so I think it was 2 teams that were playing, and there was the Indianapolis team was playing somebody, and so you saw the horseshoe, the logo of the horseshoe, and you said, "What team is that?" And so I was giving you hints about what the team name was. I said it's a baby horse, and he said a pony. A pony.
I mean, I was confident.
You were so committed to the pony.
Confident in my guess.
I was busting out laughing. No, that's not what a baby horse is called.
Well, that is the fact of what football team would be called the Ponies?
What would call ourselves a pony? Who's the Ponies?
Although there are the Dolphins, and I don't know if they're much better
than a donkey. So Megan, I was like, no, it's the Colts. It was Indianapolis Colts. I mean, so whenever we were asking questions, we always had this inside joke. The Ponies.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we always would have not competitions, but I always liked you to quiz me on what what the team name was and what their mascot was, and I don't know why I always felt so confident. It's not like I went and studied it. I never did. I just was like, I know these. The Ponies. Because
I would ask you I would give you a city and you would tell me.
Yeah, you say Indianapolis and I would say Ponies.
Yeah, I would give you a city and you would tell me what sports. And usually you would get a sports team in there. It might be in the basketball team or the baseball team.
Yeah, that's where it tricks me up on.
Yeah, you didn't quite get the right sport, but you got the right city.
I know they were mostly baseball names, baseball teams.
You do know a lot more about baseball than anything.
But this is a Notre Dame.
This is a college. This is based
college,
on his.
Which I would say college football is a lot more pleasant to watch. I always just find it fascinating. I remember growing up and thinking, like, you know, like in my preteen, teen years, like these college guys were like so old and, you know, just like, I mean, they look huge. And then
I still think
realizing, realizing as they, you know, as I got older, I'm like, oh my God, they're my age when I'm in my 20s. And now I'm like mid upper 30s. And I'm like, these dudes are younger than me. They look huge.
Now everybody in the NFL is younger than us.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
Mostly. But yeah, for sure. I always, like you said, it's still as huge as they are as much popularity and stuff they have. You're like, it's hard to imagine that these guys are actually just 18, 19, 20 years old.
I know, babies.
Yeah. But so like I said, we watched Rudy. This was released in September 18th, 1993 in the Toronto Film Festival, which September 18th. What date? What's famous date is that for?
Our anniversary. Another inside joke.
No, September 18th is my birthday.
It's Kayla's birthday.
Yeah, Megan always thought that our anniversary was June 18th.
Yeah.
It's June 16th, and because my birthday's the 18th, so she got confused early in our marriage about which day of June it was, and so I've never let her let it down.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. You do the same thing for my birthday.
I do. But then,
how about that?
Rudy was released in theatrical. The theatrical release was on October 15th of 93.
Oh, okay.
So they had a budget of $12 million, and
wow.
It made $22.8 million. It's not a big box office hit, but it definitely holds the test of time, I would think. And I won't go through the movies that came out that year, but I do want to tell you what other sports movies came out in 1993.
Okay.
Do you think you could imagine what other sports movie famous? It was actually a really good year for sports movies.
Is it Field of Dreams?
No, not Field of Dreams. It's a good
Sandlot?
guess. It was. Sandlot came out that year. Sandlot came out.
Second guess.
Also, Rookie of the Year came out.
That was going to be another one.
And then,
love that movie.
And then Cool Runnings.
Oh, Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings, yep. So, good sports movie year.
Yes, it was. Very good.
Yeah. So
Classics.
It's a classic. The writer was Angelo Pizzo, I guess. Mm-hmm. Angelo Pizzo. He was known for writing the other sports movie Hoosiers in 1986. And then interesting fact about him is that the real life Rudy, he decided to sell his story in 1986 and wanted Pizzo to write the script. But Pizzo initially refused as he hated Notre Dame and didn't want anything to do with them. But Rudy managed to convince him to write it anyways.
Well, I read too. I'm not sure if this is true or not because
in all fairness, we don't know if any of the facts that we say
is true.
Exactly true. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it said that I don't know if it was Pizzo or someone else or whatever, heard the story about Rudy while they were eavesdropping at a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, it said that they were eavesdropping. I guess Rudy was talking to a friend about like his story or whatever, or maybe just something personal. I'm not sure. And they thought it was a great story. And then they pitched it to, that's what I think it was. I think it was somebody, like an intern or something. They pitched it to Pizzo. Not sure who they sold it for. I'm not sure. But, again, not sure if that's true or not, but I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, I don't know if
the events of that, how it happened.
And I don't know if it's because of the 1986. That was the year that Hoosiers came out, and that made him want that same writer to write his story. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
I haven't seen that movie either.
Yeah, that's a good one. Gene Hackman, so high school basketball, Indiana basketball.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't think I
don't think I've seen it all the way through. I know I've seen the end of it, a lot of the end of it. I don't know if I've seen that one all the way through. But that's a really good. That one gets a lot of praise for sports movies.
Might have to add it to the list.
Yeah, and then you have the director David S. I don't know. Anspaugh. Yeah, good job. You know, if you're new to the podcast, you're going to realize that I butcher a lot of of names.
You just gotta say it with confidence,
So-
whether it's right or wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to trying to say something and just totally cuss somebody. Take somebody's thing to a cuss word. I'm like, oh crap, I messed that up. So if you make it to a drinking game, you probably get drunk pretty quick. if you're listening for me to butcher names. So, but he also directed Hoosiers and Rudy. So both the director and writer did Hoosiers and Rudy.
Okay.
So, how about this main cast? There's only a few I really want to talk about. A lot of good supporting characters. Sean Astin as Rudy. I mean, he does such a good job.
I know.
He has I don't know. He just I couldn't imagine anybody else doing the playing his role. I mean, he's got the right size compared to everybody else,
For
and
sure.
he's just really good. You know, he's been around for a long time.
And I just can't picture him anything else but the Goonies.
Yeah, he's in the Goonies.
I was like, all I see him as his little brother in the Goonies.
Yeah, and then of course he's played Sam in Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Okay, we haven't seen those. Yeah.
I've
Sorry.
seen all those.
I
yeah.
haven't. I take that back.
Yeah, he's Frodo's friend that helps him along the way.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Later.
No, he did the whole time. He's with him the whole time.
No, I mean, Lord of the Rings was shot later.
Oh yeah, it was in
Yeah,
2000.
gotcha.
2000, yeah. And then he was also in 51st Dates. You remember him? He was in.
Yes.
He's the brother of.
Oh yes.
Drew Dick
The
Barrymore.
one with the lisp.
Yeah, he's got the.
And he's swole.
He's working out and not swole, but thinks he is.
Oh, yeah, that's
and he's
right.
got the netted shirt, the neon net
that's
shirt.
right.
Yeah, that's great.
Funny.
Yeah, I just think he's done some good stuff, but those are my favorite movies that he's in. You've got his dad. I'll talk about his dad for a minute. Ned Beaty. He plays Dan.
Drake.
I know, Drake.
We should do a sound effect.
I know. That's why I make a terrible host. You should just do these parts for me.
Hush. You're fine.
So Ned, he passed away in 2021 at 83, but he played Otis in the Superman 1 and 2 from 1978 Superman. He played Lex Luthor's assistant. He was the bubbling assistant.
Okay.
And he also voiced what was his name? Lotso in Toy Story 3. He was the one that voiced Lotso, the bear.
Lotso.
Lotso.
Drink.
Lotso.
Lotso.
I know. I was like, that's not right. Lotso, yeah.
It was probably spelled that way, Lotso, but yeah, Lotso.
Yeah.
Lotso the bear.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah.
The evil bear, right?
Yeah, he's the bad
yeah.
guy. He's
The
the
Lotso.
bad guy. I didn't realize he voiced it.
That's cool.
But he had a really long career, good career. Most of it's 70s and 80s and stuff. A lot of stuff probably I haven't really seen much of, but I didn't recognize him in a couple of. I thought it was funny. I definitely recognized him from Superman, the original Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. The one other one I wanted to talk about was D-Bob, Rudy's buddy D-Bob, who was played by one of my favorite guys, Jon Favreau.
Yes.
This was actually his first movie film that he played in. He played in this.
It was also Vince Vaughn's first film.
Yes, it was Vince Vaughn. He was in this, and I didn't even recognize him.
Oh yeah,
because he was so young.
I know.
And looked so different. He plays a football player. I think he plays.
He's
the
actually
quarterback.
my worst character on my list.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, not like I just didn't like because he was so mean.
Yeah,
yeah,
I get that. So I thought it was funny because they play a lot of movies together, Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. That's where they met for the first time, and. It's funny, Jon Favreau, he didn't really do much between Rudy. He did a couple of dumb roles after Rudy, and then to the mid 90s, and then he took a risk and wrote a script called Swingers in 1996 and wrote for Vince Vaughn to be in it. So that was him. That was Jon Favreau's and Vince Vaughn's breakout roles was in what Jon Favreau wrote, Swingers. So, and then, they've done some other stuff together. They did 4 Christmases together.
That's right. Yeah.
It was one of our
it's one of our favorites.
Favorites we watch every year. Jon Favreau also was in The Replacements in 2000. He was Daredevil, the 2003 Daredevil. He played Foggy. He directed one of his breakout director roles was when he directed Elf, the 2003 Elf, and he actually played the doctor in that one.
Yeah.
And then he has really made notoriety for what he's done in the Marvel franchise. And he took the first Marvel Cinematic Universe film, Iron Man, and did that whole trilogy, and played Happy Hogan and throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he's done a lot. He also directed Jungle Book and Lion King, some other ones.
The remake of Lion King.
Live action ones, right? The more recent ones, and he also created the popular show The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
I didn't know that.
So he's got a lot of stuff going on in Disney too, with the Star Wars franchise. But I just think it's so cool how his whole career has gone. That's what I think is so neat, because he's a really good actor. He plays really great supporting roles a lot of times.
No, he was so good in this. I love.
He was
this.
so good.
I loved him and Rudy together in this film. Them together, their chemistry together was so great.
Yeah, like this whole character, the opposite each other. Him. They're just so different characters, different personalities and stuff. And at first, they look like they're going to be like
enemies. Yeah, I thought he was going to be mean to him at first.
Yeah, and then they just became really great buddies, and to see their interactions and stuff throughout the movie was great. He was a great supporting character for Sean Astin for sure. And so I just really want to take a minute to talk about Jon Favreau, because I had an opportunity to. He has a great acting, writing, director, and creator. He's just one of the top names right now in those areas. So that was neat. So anyways, you're looking at me like, where are we going next? Where are we going next?
Yeah, where are we going
next? Move on, Caleb.
I'm glad you read my face very well. I'm like, what are we doing next?
All right. So you had seen this movie before, correct? Had you seen it before?
I don't remember. I think I have. Maybe I just saw clips. I can't remember. I'm assuming not, because I can't remember. So we'll just say not.
Because you thought you had seen it before, so I wasn't sure. We hadn't really talked about it, so I didn't know if that was if you had seen it before. If I did,
it was been like 15, 16 plus years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Could have fallen asleep in class. I don't know, but if that's what I'm saying, if I did watch it, I feel like I remember watching it in our film class in college. But it could have just been a couple of clips.
Right. It could have just showed you some stuff instead of just.
It didn't make a lasting impression on me like it did this time. So
it didn't.
It didn't then, obviously, because I don't remember.
I got you. I see you. So I don't remember when I had first seen this. Like, it came out in the 90s, and I would have watched it probably on TV or something. But I've definitely seen it a few times. It's been a while since I had seen it, but it's just one of those movies that it comes on, you could just watch it. I think it's just, if you could catch the last 30 minutes of that movie anytime, it can just get you fired up, I think. But
yeah, it's got a very Remember the Titans feel to it, and I know that's your favorite movie. So
yeah.
One of, can't say the favorite movie.
It's my favorite sports movie.
Not superhero movie.
Yeah, it's definitely, Remember the Titans is my favorite sports movie.
Gotcha.
But that's one you could just turn on and watch it. But it's just those easy watching, inspiring movies are just, they're just great you see it on TV and just click it on.
Yeah.
So let's just go into it. How did you feel about it? What was your overall feeling, your takeaway going into it and then coming out of it? Just overall.
Well, I knew it was an inspiring movie. I knew it had.
So you thought I was cheating?
Yes, I did.
I love how we think this is a competition.
Always.
Our movie picks and our ratings.
It's always a competition.
It's a compmpetition. It's not a competition, Megan, just because it's an inspiring movie.
I know. Not a competition, but I'm losing.
Yeah. That's what the losers say.
That's right. I know, right? Exactly. So I did want to talk about like some scenes that I really liked and some things I didn't like. Because I'm really bad about like not talking about what I didn't like.
Yeah.
So I did want to touch base on that because I know you do that.
I do that. So I've inspired you to pull out the bad.
Well, there wasn't a lot that I didn't like. So,
yeah.
I mean, and most of it was not like
specific.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Like-
the writing or the actors or the characters. More like the scenarios I just didn't like because it's sad.
Yeah.
But it has purpose in the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think the biggest thing that I did not like was the relationship that he had with his parents, which I feel like that is so typical of that time of year or that time of life, was children and their parents' relationships just were that way. And, he even kind of, like his dad even kind of went into that where he was brought up that way. Like, this is how you're supposed to do your life. And you have no choice to go up. It's only this, it's only linear. And,
Well, he talks about how his grandfather came over and he lost everything, and he took a risk and lost everything.
Right.
And so he wanted to play it safe. He thought Rudy needed to play it safe.
Right.
And just have a good, safe job that
makes good money.
Good money and live. And so, yeah. And that happens a lot, I think. Well, you can see that a lot in people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, even now, I feel like, especially
exactly.
if you have, a parent who has a good job or, they want their child to go into that because they know that's safe. They were successful, so they raise them up to be into that job. But, I don't really know. Like, I kind of was trying to think. I was like, what made Rudy, what was different about Rudy that made him think that way? Was it because, I kind of felt like it was because of the people who told him he couldn't do those things, but I'm like, what sparked him even in the beginning when he was a child? Like,
right.
What was it, because he was small, or was it just his personality? Was it, did he have someone in his life that was speaking into him? Like, you can do anything. Was it a teacher?
Right.
They didn't really touch on that part. They just kind of was like, he just had this spark of, a dream that he wanted to accomplish, and
he just had the heart and the drive that. They get into a little bit about his brothers and.
Well, I think his biggest
like
drive was his brothers, and you know what, I think it might be his friend. His friend who passed, he was very supportive of him and was like, "No, man, you can do it. You can do whatever you want."
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah, and the movie's a little bit different. There are, and I'll get into it in a little bit about what was true,
right? Yeah,
or the historical accuracy.
True, yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that. One thing is that his dad in real life was supportive of him.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, good.
Yeah, but it makes makes for a good movie.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff and
well, it creates the angst. It creates the heartache that you feel for Rudy, and it makes you want to root for him. Makes him the hero,
Right.
So without that, you'd be like. Okay,
but it was
boring.
But I agree with you. That's the hardest part.
It was hard to watch.
It's hardest part to watch in the movie was his brother and his dad were very against it. His dad was like, you could tell it looked like he wanted to, but he just wanted him safe, but his brother was like angry about it.
Yeah.
I
think he was jealous.
He's jealous. He didn't want it. He thought it would. He didn't support him. But
and he also didn't have a brother in real life. You know that?
He didn't have an older brother.
He
was the older.
Frank was not. It was not.
He was not a real. Yeah. There were two characters in there that were created that were big.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and talk about that.
Go for it.
The two characters, Frank, his older brother. Actually, Rudy was the older sibling of. I think he had 14. There were 14 siblings.
Holy cow!
So he was the oldest, and then Frank was a made-up character, and the other one was Fortune. The groundskeeper. The groundskeeper. He was the made up character.
That stinks. He was my favorite.
Yeah, no, he really was. But Frank was. It said the reason what Frank was made up to embody all the people that doubted him and told him that he couldn't do it along the way. And Fortune was a made up character to be the mentor role and to embody all the people that encouraged him on his journey. Right. So. They were really, instead of making a bunch of different characters and they just kind of embodied all of them. So I thought that was interesting. Those are two important characters, but the reason they did it was pretty good.
Yeah. So that was the only thing I didn't say I didn't like. It made my heart hurt for him. Yeah. And which, I mean, that's what they want you to do is just sympathy for him.
Which brings to a really good scene when he brings his dad the letter of
Yes.
acceptance into
That was
Notre
one of
Dame.
my favorite scenes. Yeah.
His dad was so proud of him that he got into Notre Dame and announced it in the steel mill like that. He was very proud of him. His brother still looked jealous and didn't care, but
I was glad that
his
he
dad
did
was
that.
really
I was worried he was still gonna not, care and
yeah.
be like, yeah, okay, cool, this is not real, or But I thought that was really cool that he finally was like, and I really think from then on he really did like have faith in him and believe in his dream.
And they weren't really worried about the football part, even though that was what Rudy really was pushing toward.
Right. They were just happy he got into college.
Yeah, he was like, "Don't worry." He's like,
College.
"It's okay," and they
Yeah,
didn't
he
really
worked hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they didn't really believe because we don't have obviously they didn't have like social medias and cameras or they didn't have all this stuff to let him know that he was actually on the football team, but so they didn't really believe him. They didn't really care. I think his dad didn't care. His brothers were picking at him.
Well, along with that acceptance letter, was like my other favorite part was when he actually opened the acceptance letter.
Oh, the whole lead up to that.
Yes.
He was
that was so good. Like I love the lead up to it because it was like he wrote the letter or he got the letter denied, got the letter denied, got the letter denied. I'm like I'm counting it. I'm like okay, this is the last one.
Yeah.
He's done after this. He can't go back to school.
Right.
And yeah, when he got that last letter, I wonder if that really was true. If that really happened, like he went to school for 2 years.
He did have to go. He did.
Dang, it's the last chance.
Then it was fine. I did see an interview with him with the real Rudy. He said that they asked him what percentage of the movie is actually accurate. He said 92% was that accurate. So a lot of that part was really was accurate and stuff. Getting in there and the way it was, some of the heartaches they had to go through.
Yeah, another one of my favorite scenes that I found out was not true was when the football players were giving up their jerseys.
That's right.
And throwing down their jerseys in front of the coach and to get Rudy on the team, which it also was talking about the coach that they were doing that to. He said he was in favor of Rudy, like in real life. He said he had to come back and say, this is not true at all, because I think he's probably getting some hate.
Right. And that's what they said. It said, in reality, Coach Dan Devine had announced that Rudy would dress for the Georgia Tech game during practice a few days before. The dramatic scene in which Rudy's senior teammates laid their jerseys on Devine's desk in protest never happened. According to Ruettiger, Devine was persuaded to allow him... Hold on, I lost my spot. To allow him to dress only after a number of seniors had requested to do so. Devine had agreed to be depicted as the, quote, heavy, or the antagonist, in the film for the dramatic effect, in which he was irritated to find out the extent of which he was vilified, saying the jersey scene was unforgivable, it's a lie and untrue.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what... the real Rudy said. He said, he knew that things were changed for the film, for dramatic effect and things like that. So
yeah, I mean, that was great writing. I love that scene. I thought that was awesome.
They talked to the actual coach, Coach Devine, to tell him that that's what they were going to do, how they were going to handle that scene. But he was actually a good friend of Rudy's and stuff. Yeah. He was good. So, but it makes for good. It makes for a good movie.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that was really cool. I love that.
Another part that the chanting of Rudy was not true.
I figured that was true. I'm like, these people don't even know who Rudy is.
Yeah. It did say that a few people in one section chanted Rudy as he was being carried off.
Oh, yeah. And then they said that part was even kind of like a fumbled mess. Like, it wasn't like how organized it was in the movie and stuff.
So, Joe Montana, you know who Joe Montana is?
Yes.
The famous Hall of Fame NFL player. He played for the 49ers.
Damn, I was going to say Miami.
That's Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, so close.
No, he played for the 49ers in the 80s and 90s, and he was won Super Bowls and stuff. Very good quarterback.
I know the
One
name.
of the best quarterbacks. Yeah, Joe Montana. So he played for Notre Dame when he was a freshman when Rudy was a senior.
Okay.
And so he was a guest on the Dan Patrick Show, which is a sports radio show, in September of 2010. And Joe, who was an active member of the team, when Rudy was played in the Georgia Tech, confirmed that the jersey scene never happened, stating, "It's a movie, remember? Not all of that is true. The crowd wasn't chanting. Nobody threw in their jerseys. He did get the ball. He did get in the ball game. He got carried off after the game." And then 10 years later, he had an interview with Barstool Sports. Said Montana reiterated the jersey scene and the crowd chanting did not actually occur. He also implied that carrying Ruettiger off the field was sarcastic rather than celebratory, saying, "Was there a lot of things that happened? Yeah, he got in, he got a sack. Was the crowd chanting? No. Did I throw in my jersey? No. Did he get carried off the field?" It says he got carried off by 3 of the biggest pranksters on the team. So,
well, it's cool though. They did get a sack though.
No, yeah, he got in it. Yeah, he was in there for. It said the movie depicts 2 plays, but he was actually in there for 3 plays. He was in there for the kickoff, and then there was an incomplete pass, and then then he got the sack.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I think they were. I was reading something. They was talking about how Dan Marino. Not Dan Marino. You got me talking about Dan Marino.
Sorry.
Joe Montana. He's this famous NFL quarterback, and he gets asked about a guy that got in the game just because he had a interaction with him. So
he got a movie made after him, not Montana didn't get a movie named after him.
They said that Joe Montana was very supportive of the movie when it came out and everything. So I thought it was funny. It was so funny. But those are some of the historical accuracies and stuff, and I get it. But like I said, the whole last 30 minutes of that movie, from the point that they start laying their jerseys on the desk of the coach to him actually getting in, to him getting to lead the team out onto the field, to sitting there watching the game and his parents there, and then chanting his name, to getting in, getting the sack and get carried off. I mean, there's nothing better inspiring and better in film than those 30 minutes of the movie. So
yeah, I think my favorite part of that whole part was Jon Favreau on the stand. He said he's so small.
Yeah, he did.
He's like crying. He's so small. That was so good. I love that part.
All right, go get in there, kid.
Some other scenes. Do you have any other scenes? I had a couple of other scenes.
Yeah, I think my favorite scene of the whole movie, which I think is probably the most popular movie, is the don't quit scene when Rudy is wanting to quit.
Oh, with Fortune, he gives him his speech. Oh my, that's my favorite scene too.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, it's so powerful. There's so many quotes from that.
Yeah, I want to read. I won't read that quote, but I will put the audio clip in here somewhere of him talking. But yeah,
So you didn't make the dress list. There are greater tragedies in the world.
I wanted to run out of that tunnel for my dad. To prove to everyone that I worked...
what?
That I was somebody.
Oh, you are so full of crap. You're 5 feet nothing. 100 and nothing. And you got hardly a speck of athletic ability. And you hung in with the best college football team in the land for 2 years. And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself. And after what you've gone through, if you haven't done that by now, it ain't going to never happen. Now go on back.
Sorry I never got you to see your first game in here.
Hell, I've seen too many games in this stadium.
I thought you said you never saw a game.
I've never seen a game from the stands.
Yeah, him talking, telling him about him getting a degree from Notre Dame, and then revealing that he was on the team at one time and stuff. But That's a great speech.
Yeah.
A great moment.
No, I thought that was really powerful and really moving. I mean, obviously it changed his mind and he went back. He didn't even know. That's the thing is, like, you think about it, you're like, what if he did give up? What if he gave up and never went back? And he wouldn't have been this great football player, or, he wouldn't have this whole story.
Right.
Obviously that happened in real life. So I wonder kind of, was there someone in his life that kind of made them that, or did he actually do that? Did he actually quit? Because I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody blamed him for quitting. Like, you're like, what's the point? What's the point of continuing on? The game is over. I'm not going to get to play.
But there's so many moments in the movie that he could quit. Like,
well, he had that one goal, was that he was going to get to dress and play on the team, and that was his only goal. His only goal was to just play one, just to dress,
be on the team.
That was his only goal, was to dress and be on the team,
yeah.
and to prove everyone that he was on the team, because he was on the team, even though he was on the practice team.
Right.
He was still considered part of the team, but no one believed him. He didn't get to dress, and so I could completely understand when someone told you no, and you're like, all right, well, that's it then. It's over. But I love that. It told, he was like, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to keep doing it until the very end. So he came to the practice, and it really showed everybody else, inspired everyone else too, I think.
Yeah.
This is why that scene with the jerseys was so powerful.
Right.
Whether it was real or not. That's
what's so great about, it took us, half the movie to get to the football part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on. A lot of lead up to even the football, not even the last few minutes of the movie where where he actually gets to play, but actually getting into Notre Dame and getting on the football team. But, he goes in and no one takes him serious as a football player, even if he's on the practice squad, which, like he said, there's no one took the practice players serious.
Right. They're the punching bags.
They're the punching bags.
Yeah.
And he knew his job, and he wanted to make the team better. He loved Notre Dame regardless.
That's what he said. And I know a couple of those guys were, thinking he was cocky and full of it, and trying to show him out. And he said, why would I go easy on y'all? I'm trying to make y'all better.
Right.
He said, I'm here to make y'all better.
Yeah.
And that really helped them, like, oh, okay, so he's actually on our side, because I think they thought he was trying to get their position, which he was, but,
Right. It's like, he's a show off. He's not showing off. He's
No.
actually, then they realized what his motivation was, and that he's like, his heart and his genuinely
true
about.
intentions, yeah.
Right. They started liking him, and they respected him as a person. And they showed a lot during the movie, and that's why, like you said, when they would show him not being on the squad, all those times he's looking if his name's on the list, and the guys were like, shaking their head as they walked by.
I'm sorry.
But and then like another time when he got onto the other players, and he got just crushed one play. The guy crushed him, and then they wanted to run again. He wanted to stay in, and the guy didn't block him.
Yeah,
He just didn't.
He got so mad.
He got so mad at him. I'm like, that's really great.
That practice coach guy, I really liked him too.
Yeah. But that whole, I guess, like a whole montage of him getting destroyed on the practice field.
So bloody.
I was like, there's no way he didn't have a concussion.
I know, no joke. I know.
I just thought they did a really great job of making him look small and still being tough at the same time, but he was so much smaller than the other players.
How tall is he actually?
In real life, I don't know. I didn't look that.
He's probably like 5'6".
Yeah. But
5'5".
You think about Notre Dame was the top program at the time.
Yeah, football players are huge.
Yeah, that was one I really liked the montage with him getting killed. I got killed in quotes because I just thought he was gonna die.
Yeah.
Pete's death, his friend's death. That was such a pivotal moment in the movie and his life, in real life. But I just thought, that was a hard scene to watch.
Yeah,
it was. You're like, wow, it was tough. And I don't know how he died in real life, but but he did say that his friend did die. I saw an interview that was what happened. But also, I did want to mention about the historical accuracy that he did not, after high school, he did not go work at the steel mill for 4 years. He actually was in the Navy.
Oh, wow.
He was in the Navy for 4 years. And they left that part out. And I think one of the big reasons they left that part out was because he had a GI Bill So he didn't have to pay for college. They had to leave that part out. So in the movie, it looks like he has more of a struggle of paying for his tuition at the same time. But he actually had more free time.
Yeah, like sleeping on the cot and
he was
everything.
actually, I think they said he was either a wrestler or a boxer in college too. But
wouldn't doubt it. I think he likes to get hit.
Apparently. Then the other scene I liked was when he went to Notre Dame for the first time and he talked to the priest and he thought he was going to be he was going to be a priest. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a good moment. Any other ones you talked about?
No, those are the good ones. There wasn't a scene with Favreau that really stuck out, but
I know, that's what I was thinking too.
I was trying to think of one.
Just everything about him. I did I guess there was a montage a little bit about them. He's finding him a girl.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He's going around campus. Hey, have you met my friend?
Yeah, because he was making the deal, so he was trying to, do his end of the bargain.
Yeah,
trying to find him a girl.
Because he wanted him to tutor him, and he was helping him find a girl. And I guess he did at the end of the
Yeah, he did.
That was funny. Who was your favorite actor then?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Or Astin?
Astin, yeah. Sean Astin, yeah. Astin.
Yeah. Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Now y'all can take a drink on me.
I think I got that one right. The whole time.
Well, I should. He's a pretty big actor.
Right.
No, Sean Astin and then Jon Favreau. They're pretty awesome together.
Yeah.
I wish there were more scenes, actually.
And I like Fortune.
Yeah.
Hit the groundskeeper guy. He was really great. Their whole interactions a lot of time when he went to give him found this key to the.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Even when he wanted to give the key back to him, he said, I didn't know what he was talking about.
I don't know what
Right. And the way he looked at him a lot of times when he would just show his love for Notre Dame football, when he was running around the field after they had a game and he got run around being silly. And then when they were in the locker room, he does the speech in the locker room, staying on the stool. He just looks at him like, this guy is nuts, but he loves. You just see it like he just loves this. He loves Notre Dame. So I thought that guy, the Fortune, was a great character. Great.
Yeah.
The guy did a great job of it.
I agree.
I'm gonna give his name out. Hang on, because Charles Dutton. Yeah, Charles Dutton. So give him some props on his role in the movie. And then you said your least favorite actor. I was going to
not actor. I love Vince Vaughn.
Least
character.
Favorite
yes.
character. Right. Yeah. Because the coach called him out on him on the field. Mm-hmm. That moment where he
wasn't really in it that much. It was just a standout. I was like, oh no, and he never really kind of got over it.
Yeah.
Like,
but he was in the scene. What, in the parking lot when they were getting on to him? Was he in that one?
I think so.
And then the big moment when
because I think he was a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the big moment when he said, I think he said it was the last practice of his first season at Notre Dame, and then he was getting on to Rudy for not letting up. He said, this guy thinks it's like the Super Bowl and he's running around here like this, and the coach gets on to Vince Vaughn's character, says, if you had half the heart that Rudy does, then you'd be All-American by now. Then he's sent into like the third squad or something like that.
What's your problem? What's your problem? Last practice of the season, and this asshole thinks it's the Super Bowl. You just summed up your entire sorry career here in one sentence. If you had a tenth of the heart of Ruettiger, you could have made All-American. As it is, you just went from the third team to the prep team. Go on, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just proves a point of like, I thought that was pretty moving, just because, because he was the quarterback, and so he's looking at Rudy like, oh, you're trying to get my position, you're trying to be all this, and that wasn't Rudy's intention. Like, Rudy was trying to make them better.
Yeah. Because
like, even if like, let's say you're in a leadership position, like let's say you're the boss, you have this young whippersnapper coming into work, and he's trying to, do all he can do, be the best he can, and you feel threatened by that. It's like, and that's very common in this day and age of like people feeling threatened, whether it's on social media or whatever. Even in my job, like people come in and they're just so good, or it's just fire and wanting to learn and all this stuff. And so many people feel threatened by those people. I'm like, why? Just embrace them. Like, let that fuel your fire. Cause I know a lot of I think that's ended up what happening was, he had been doing this for so long, and he was kind of just like going through the motions. And I think that's what Rudy was trying to do, was inspire everyone on the team to be better,
Right.
Cause he knew he's not a football player.
Right.
And that was the thing, is like, that's kind of what I think there was a quote in there somewhere where it says, if I could put Rudy's heart into one of their football players' bodies, like they would be a great football player. But Rudy knew he wasn't built to be a football player, and in no way, shape, or form could he ever be a football player because he's too small.
Right.
And in instances like that, like he knew that.
But he knew he had to prove everything.
Yeah.
And he knew that if he let up for a second, one play, he could be quickly kicked off that team just because of his size.
Yeah.
And it was all effort, all heart that kept him on that squad. And he knew he could not let up for a second.
Right. Well, I think a lot of that has to do with people who have like disabilities, or, dare I even say women, and being a woman is not a disability, but we do have,
I feel like you have something to prove.
Yeah, we do. And
Like,
so,
anybody.
and a lot of times you're like that too. Like I've, not in my own personal life, but I know some women who are the same way, like, doctors, they can't give up. You can't let up for a second, or a man's going to come in and take your position, And so I think that's how, I feel like that's what like that story was kind of representing, is like people who have any kind of adversity against them, don't give up. Don't let those people put you down. Don't let that change your heart. Don't get mad. Let it harden your heart, but continue to keep pushing on. And even though you may not be able to be the best person for that job, whether it's something outside of your own physical or mental ability, you can still inspire those who can.
Right.
It's like teachers.
Like
they say those who can't do teach, right?
Right, exactly. But like you said, like he had things stacked against him. He had, adversity all around him, from his home life to, trying to just stay afloat at school, his learning disability. And so he had all these things. So he had to make up for it somehow. And that was with his heart and his drive and his motivation. And his dreams, that's what kept him going and kept moving forward, and to never give up and to not listen to the naysayers. But like you said, there's so many, everybody has good things and bad things in their life. There's things that hold you back, whether it's personally, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever, financially, there's things that hold you back, but there's other ways you can make up for those shortcomings.
Well, and I feel like they also make you a better person too.
Yeah, it
like
makes you
if
stronger.
You walk through life and you're skating through life and everything is just handed to you. I feel like you're not. You've had no struggle to get to where you are. You've had no adversity to fight against, and I feel like that always builds character, makes you a better person, makes you have more empathy for others. And
right. There's just so many people in
where I was going with that.
Yeah, but there's like so many people in sports, like you talk about, especially it's just you see it all the time. The talent runs out eventually.
Right.
You gotta
have heart
if you don't have the hard work, if you don't put the work in, it's going to catch up to you eventually. And that's
right.
what that's
someone
why,
else is going to pass you up that has
more
heart. Yeah.
That's why I tell our son that that's what I tell Reed all the time with baseball. I was like, you
talent
don't let
can only get you so far.
Yeah, I said don't let somebody outwork you.
Yeah.
Just because you might have to put twice as much effort in, but
heart and passion will get you a long way.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
We got on that soapbox for a little bit. So yeah, I agree though. That's just such a good. Obviously that's what the whole movie's about. The whole inspiring moments about is into the very end, and it pays off at the end, right?
Yeah.
It's just like I said, such a good last 30 minutes of the movie that this just top to bottom just keeps escalating throughout that whole scene. Escalates to the very end, to him getting carried off. And they said nobody has ever been carried off Notre Dame field since.
I hope not either, because I think that's really cool.
That's really cool.
Sarcastically or not, I don't
Right.
care.
It's still those players respected him and
That's
liked
right,
him, and
yeah.
that's still the reason they did it.
Let's talk about some favorite quotes.
Yeah, some quotes and some facts.
So, I feel like this movie was full of quotes.
Yeah?
Like, full of quotes you can put on your poster with a cat hanging up in your room.
Which one did you
I only
like?
picked out 3, because
Okay.
there were so many. I picked out 3. One was from Fortune, and it said, and this is going to be my mantra for the rest of my life, or at least the rest of this year, or next
You
year.
gonna put a poster on your
Yes.
in your office? Which one was it?
In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is so true.
He says that during that whole speech
Yeah.
when he's like we were talking about. That's part of that whole speech. I think,
Yeah.
So great. Yep.
And then I have 2 from Rudy. One of them was, oh my gosh, this makes me, like, as soon as he said it, it just really hit my heart. Like, it made me tear up. I think this is when he got on the team. He got on the practice team, and he asked him if he was ready. And he said, I've been ready for this my whole life.
Oh yeah.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Then you take us out on the field.
Did.
I was like, I'm about to get emotional again. I'm just like, that is just so awesome. And then another one, which is another poster I'm going to put on my wall. Sometimes a winner is a dreamer who just won't quit.
Wow. Yeah.
That was a good one, yeah.
I remember him saying that when he said. I
don't know.
remember he said that. That was a good one.
I know. There was a lot of them that Rudy said, and I had it on the quotes. I'm like, when did he say this? I mean,
Yeah.
he just said them all the time.
But like I said, I think some of them went in with some other speeches and some in the middle of other talking. For sure. I
What
like
are some of yours?
I like what Pete said when he gives him his jacket and he says, well, you know, my dad always said having dreams is what makes life tolerable.
That's right. Yeah, I like that one
That
too.
was funny. And then I won't read the whole speech from Fortune, but he goes, "You're 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, and you barely have a speck of athletic ability." And the whole speech, the whole moments were great.
Yeah.
Fortune himself was a good motivator, good mentor and motivator for sure.
Yep.
He was motivated to have Fortune see his first game, watch first Notre Dame game, watching him play. So
Yeah, I know that
really,
that was a real tearjerker too.
and then he turns around, he's walking away while he's painting the goalposts, and he says,
he's like,
if you dress, I'll be there.
yeah. I just love his reaction too. He's just like, yes.
I think a couple of facts. I think I went over a couple of the facts that I found. One other thing was the movie Rudy is one of only 2 movies allowed to shoot at Notre Dame campus.
Oh wow. Well, speaking of that too, I read that the football scenes were shot by the NFL. That's why they looked like real football games.
But they shot them from the sidelines. From the sidelines, right? They didn't do on the field shots because it made it look more authentic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah, they said the NFL crew, I guess, shot that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so where it made it look like they were real movies, real shows. Yeah.
Right. I know they had there was a couple of things about which some of the games, I saw some of the games that they were shooting at. There was like one of them was a Penn State game that he was sitting in the stands. They actually did not even play Penn State that year, but they were shooting one of the games from the 1992 season.
Oh, gotcha,
during that. Yeah. So they shot some of the scenes during halftime of some of the game. I think one of the games was a Boston College game. I think that was the one that his parents, his dad and stuff were in the stands. I think that was the Boston College game because you can see some of the colors or something like that. You can see a lot of the colors in the stands that were
really?
Yeah.
No Georgia Tech people there.
Yeah. It's they're black and gold and Boston College is gold and red. So anyways, that's all I have. If you had anything else, I think we've talked long enough about Rudy. I really enjoyed the movie. I think it's a good rewatchable movie. Like I said, if one comes on, you can watch. We talked about when we started the movie, we should let the kids watch it.
Yeah.
And I think it was really good. And then I was watching. It was kind of slow in the beginning, and once it gets to the football part, they would definitely
Yeah.
enjoy the second half of the movie, but the lead up, it might be a little too slow for them at times.
I know, and the friend dying might be a little disturbing.
Yeah, the
I think that
explosion in the
we have very sensitive children when it comes to
Yeah.
like death in movies, and they very they react strongly to it. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
true. That's true. So, that's one that they will eventually watch. That's a
Yeah.
good, safe, family-friendly movie.
Yeah.
But like I said, the football portion.
What was it rated? PG? PG-13?
Yeah, it's PG.
PG.
It's PG. Yeah. All right, let's get to the his and her rating. So, I know you like to you want to make my scores go down, but I don't know. Just kidding.
It's not a competition, right?
Right. It's not a competition because I'm winning. Just kidding. So what let's go. What's your rating of this movie? Do you have a lead in? Just gonna go for it.
Oh, I was gonna go for it.
All right, what'd
It's
you give?
5.
It's a 5. A 5?
It's a 5.
You gave it a 5.
It's a 5. I really love this movie. I could rewatch it by myself. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great movie. I mean, you got me with
I
the
got you.
inspiration.
The inspirational movie. Man. Write it down, folks.
I mean, it was clean. It was, funny, inspiring, tearjerker. Like, even like.
Did you cry? Did you
tear up,
teared up?
but I didn't
Okay.
cry, no. But
I even teared up again.
But with the friend dying, like that was really sad. But I not glad, but I appreciated that it was in the beginning of the film. Like I think if it was at the end, I would have probably lost it. You know what I mean? So it was like the loss happened in the beginning, and then it ended very nice. Like very inspiring, and all that he wanted worked out for him. Maybe not the way he planned it, but I think the way he thought it would anyways. Like I said, he knew he wasn't a football player.
Right.
But no, I always like a good movie that ends in nice inspiration.
It was, and this movie just builds the whole time. It just starts and just builds and builds.
Had great actors, great characters. Writing was great. And the fact that it was a true story was really cool. I like that. But yeah, no.
But the creative takes on it were really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed now that a couple of my favorite scenes aren't real. But I mean, that's Hollywood for you, right?
Yeah. They said that this one is one of the better ones as far as taking stuff out and Hollywooding, I guess, whatever you say.
Yeah.
The movie. So this does a good job of capturing it all. Of the real and just putting enough in there for dramatic effects and for storytelling, a lot of that stuff. So, wow, I got a 5.
You got a 5.
Okay, I'll give you the next one a 5. I promise.
No,
Just kidding.
You have to be honest.
So Gladiator was a 4.5, right?
Yeah, well, I really like Gladiator. It was just too bloody.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it's 4.5, and I
because-
didn't think I'd give it a 4.5. Anything.
No? Well, I mean, a lot of it does have. A lot of it is a rewatchability factor weighs in, and that's what Gladiator. I would rewatch it, but not anytime soon. Like I'm good for a while. But like Rudy, I could watch it again right after I watched it. Like it was so great. Like it made me feel good. Like it made me feel like I could do anything, and I just love those kind of movies.
Yeah. Got you with the inspiring movie.
Yes.
I cheated.
You did cheat. I already knew when you said it. I was like, dang it.
Oh, that's fun.
That's all right. I'm gonna find one for you.
All right, I won't be as harsh anymore on your movies.
No, you
I'm
gotta
just
be
kidding.
truthful.
I'm just kidding. No, I'll stay true to
You're just
myself.
harsher personality. That's fine.
That's just a mean person.
You're just more pessimistic.
That's
I'm
not
just
true.
kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. So let's move on to
My pick.
your pick. So you get to pick the next one.
Yes. So-
Episode 12.
Episode 12. So
What's this
I always
gonna be?
struggle with like what movies to pick. I don't know if you do, but I do.
I do.
I struggle so hard. I don't know why. But I mean, I have a very long list, and it keeps growing.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of movies I need to ask you about. But I'll ask you off podcast,
Right.
off recording, to see if you've watched them before or once or twice, because they're some of my favorite inspirational movies.
Inspirational.
But I know
But I do jump around too because I look at what I've picked, the genres. I try to pick a genre, and then I realized I was thinking about like I haven't picked a sports movie. That's a good one. That's what made me think of Rudy. was because I hadn't done a sports movie yet, and Remember Titans is off the table because I've seen it so many times, and because it was football season, it was a good reason to go to Rudy. So, but it was a different genre. Yeah. So like my next
What's different genres? I've done musicals.
No, I'm not saying you haven't. I'm just saying that's the struggle. That's how I try to.
A lot of action.
The struggle I have with doing it because I don't want to do the same genres back to back, and I'm like,
I feel that.
So, anyways.
Yeah, because I've done rom-coms. I've done
musicals, comedies.
I've done a drama. I don't know, Dirty Dancing. I don't know.
It's a drama dance.
It's not really. It's not a rom-com. It's not comedy.
It's a romance drama.
Yeah, we'll say that. So I went a different route.
Okay. This one you got somebody helped you pick this one. Is that right?
No.
Or somebody?
No, I'm not doing that one.
Oh, you changed it?
Yes, I did. I changed it because that one I haven't seen, and I may have seen maybe once. So I kind of really want to do movies I've seen a lot and I really like that you haven't seen. You know, kind of continuing on our theme. But no, so this one is not a rom-com. It's not a romance at all. But it's
super nervous.
Why you always get so nervous? It's the unknown, isn't it?
The unknown
keeps life exciting. That was one of my favorite quotes from a friend of mine recently was she said, "Life with me must be exciting."
Yeah.
I was like, I guess, is that a compliment? I don't know.
It was like what somebody new that you met on your trip.
Yeah. Well, not new, but like. Yeah, rekindled friendship. Yeah.
Somebody had
anyways, we're dragging this out way too long. So I'm picking the 1989.
89. Oh, let me guess. Just kidding. Go ahead. I don't know.
You guess. You can guess if you want. I guess
89?
Yours. No cheating.
It's not when Harry Met Sally. I don't know.
Steel Magnolias.
Oh, Steel Magnolias. We had talked about that one a while back. Yeah. Steel Magnolias. That's with Julia Roberts.
Yep.
Julia Roberts. Yeah.
Well, Julia Roberts.
She's in it. She's not the main character.
Yeah, she's not the main character. Yeah.
Steel Magnolias.
I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I saw it a lot when I was younger, so I'm kind of anxious to see.
I don't know what this movie is about.
It's very heavy, so I'll just warn you.
Drama. Straight. Is it a straight drama?
No, it's got comedy in it, but it's just it's a heavy movie. There's another movie like that too that I want to bring up. Too. It's very traumatizing because I watched this.
This has got older actors.
Yes,
actresses.
I believe. I cannot think of her name. I can see her face right now. She was. She was Mrs. Doubtfire, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Fields?
She was the mom.
Sally Fields.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's Julia Roberts' mom.
Oh okay.
I believe. I could be completely wrong.
You don't know.
But I think that's it. But anyways, we're going to watch it and find out.
Yeah. I've had plenty of those. I'm like, that's what this movie is? That's who's in this movie? And they're not in that movie at all.
Yeah.
I've done that before.
I know. Well, like I said, it's probably been maybe 15, 20 years since I saw this movie. So it'll be nice watching it as an adult.
So what made you go with Steel Magnolias?
It's a movie that is so good and powerful, and I've just wanted to watch it again.
It's inspiring?
I don't know if it's inspiring.
No. I
don't remember it. It's sad. Yes, it is.
Sad? I don't want to start. I don't want to listen to.
Well, it may not be sad to you.
Oh. I don't know what that means. Because I'm cold-hearted.
No.
So cold-hearted, I would laugh at the sad parts.
No.
Okay.
No, but you'll have to find out.
Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next episode.
I hope we could find that on a streaming service to watch.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot to do that too.
Yeah. So all right,
Google it and you can find it.
Google it.
I know. We only have a couple people that like to watch it before the episode comes out, so that'd be all right.
Yep. All right. Well, we're watching Steel Magnolias next.
Yep.
So look forward to that, y'all. This is it's been a fun episode. I got my first 5-star from Megan. She's cringing.
As much as I hated giving it to you. I didn't give it to you. I gave it to Rudy, okay?
That's true. That's true.
Just because you picked it doesn't mean you get to earn it.
No, I get it. It's all me now. And all right. So we'll wrap it up, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. Hope y'all are still enjoying us ramble on about movies. Not being real movie critics, but just enjoying movies.
Yeah, regular old people.
Regular old people enjoying movies and talking about it. And I hope you...
like it.
No, I was going to say, I hope you agree with me about everything with Megan.
Yeah, no. If you don't, reach out to me personally.
We all know if I agree with you more. All right, guys. We'll wrap it up. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, bye guys.